Hi everybody, it's Chrissy from Knittin in the Heights. Welcome back to my channel. Tuesday. And today I took a little jaunt down to Tribeca and saw a wonderful, nostalgic monument to 80s pop culture that I will share with you. I hope you enjoy, and in a little bit I'll give you an update on some of my projects. So I hope you liked that trip down memory lane. So that was the original fire station that was used for the Ghostbusters headquarters. And it's so cool that they've like refurbished it, and yeah, it's just really cool. So that's in Tribeca, which is in Lower Manhattan near the financial district. Yeah, it's a really interesting neighborhood. So the only project I have been working on in the last couple of days have been my Halloween socks. So I've just gotten the bug. You know, sometimes you do. Plain knitting is speaking to my soul right now. So I finished the rib and I'm on the first stripe. And I hope over the next day or so, I'll add more. I'll get back to my Many Moons hat as well. But I really would love to have a pair of Halloween socks for Halloween. And so I kind of need to prioritize these. I do have a planned trip to Brooklyn soon, and that's going to be a very long subway journey. So I'll take these on the trip. So Josh and I are going to get together later this week and grab like an early breakfast and just tool around Brooklyn and look for some haunted sites and maybe visit a yarn store. Can't promise we're going to buy anything, but we'll visit a yarn store nonetheless and take you along with us so you can see a little bit of Brooklyn. So that's exciting. Yeah. I guess I will be drawing for the prize for my giveaway. Today is technically October 24th. I will draw tomorrow morning, but it will be in this vlog. So stay tuned. I might come back later with some more progress on a knitting project or something like that, but no promises on that. So if I do, you'll see me again looking very similar to how you see me now. or in PJs, we'll see. And yeah, I will be sharing with you the winner of the giveaway. And the giveaway winner will be winning a 50-gram skein of yarn, of sock weight yarn, in some beautiful Halloween type colors. They will also win a 20-gram skein of yarn. You know, I probably should just show you. It would make things a lot easier. So let me go ahead and get that stuff to show you. Okay, everybody. So let's take a look at the prize. So first of all, there's some lovely hot chocolate, and there'll be a nice postcard of a gloomy view of, I think it's the Flatiron Building. Yeah. So that'll be on its way to you guys, whoever wins. And then as far as the yarn, there is a 50-gram skein of Jack-O-Lantern by Craftily Dyed Yarns. I love her yarn. I've used it before. She has some really fun colors, and it's very appropriate. And I have a 20-gram skein of Norman Bates from Cafe Creations, Yarn Cafe Creations. I got this last year before last, as a Halloween mini set. And I thought that actually these go together so beautifully to make a pair of socks. And then from Simply Serving, I did this thing. She has like a lucky dip kind of thing where you pay, I think it's $5 for a clay charm, but like for a holiday. And I did this in the summer, and summer or spring. And there was like Halloween and there was Christmas. And so I chose some Halloween and I chose some Christmas. But scream. So it is very Halloween inspired. Hope it's not too gory for folks. But yeah, that'll be winging its way to whomever wins the prize tomorrow morning. But again, it'll be in this vlog because I am ahead on my filming on purpose. The other thing I was going to talk to you guys about today, and I hope like people are comfortable with this. If not, I totally understand. If this is something that makes you uncomfortable and you just want to talk yarn, that's cool. I'll see you next time. But I'm going to talk to you about my pendulum that I use. I have multiple. I have two, and I'm trying to see. Yes, I have my second one over here as well. So a pendulum is a device where you can ask yes/no questions. What I believe, some people believe it's spirits talking to you. I don't know. I don't think it's spirits though. I think it's actually my subconscious talking to me. So if that makes you feel any better, I believe it's like my higher self or my subconscious helping me answer some questions. So just like I use tarot cards and oracle cards, I also use a pendulum, and I have two, and I'm trying to get the second one out. I keep one with my tarot deck. So if I'm trying to answer a question and I'm not getting a direct answer, because a lot of times I want to know yes/no questions, and tarot decks do not answer yes/no very well. So I have two, both of which I feel very connected to. The first is a quartz crystal, and it's pretty, and it's been worn and the chain is broken, and I don't care, and I still use it, and it's very effective. The other one is heavy. It's made out of what's called pig iron. That's my cat coughing or sneezing or something. Yeah, it's called pig iron, and it's all metal. And the way it works, or at least the way I use it, I'm going to actually set you down for a second. And if the angle is weird, I apologize. Not the best angle for me, but that's okay. You'll get the point. So what I'll do is I'll choose one of these. I guess I'll use the pig iron one. And what I do to center myself first is I put my palm like this, because so you learn this in Reiki as well. There are chakras throughout the body, and there are chakras actually in the palms of your hands. These are energy points where energy collects and comes out of your body and into your body, actually. It's kind of where Reiki comes from when you're doing hands-on Reiki. So the first thing I do to center myself is I place the pendulum on top of my palm, and I'll ask the pendulum, please show me yes. And you see it starts to spin. Then I'll ask the pendulum to please show me no. And there you go. It's spinning the opposite direction. So for me, that is always the way the pendulum swings. When it's answering yes, it goes clockwise, and for no, it goes counterclockwise. for different people. It's totally different. I've had other people do this. Colleen really likes to play with pendulums and has since she was a little kid. So does Gabe. Gabe just swings it though. Gabe goes like this. But Colleen will actually, she'll sit there and play with, she has a pendulum as well. You can do it with necklaces. Back in the olden days, they would do this over, they still do it, let's face it, over like pregnant women's tummies to see, is it a boy or is it a girl kind of thing. Yeah, and it just, depending on the person, because in my mind, you are creating the movement, okay? Like you are, through minor movements of your muscles, subconsciously your body is reacting. And so it's creating this movement, either one way or the other, to answer yes or no. At least that's how I perceive it. But it gives me some clarity sometimes. So that really can help me. So I can ask a yes, no question. It also gives me maybe, excuse me, wow. I even slept last night. I woke up pretty early. But yeah, like right before 5. It's fine. Not really, but I'll deal with it. It's okay. I'm a parent. I'm used to being without a lot of sleep. So anyhow, so like it'll do maybe, and for me maybe is like this. I'm actually showing you. I'm making it move. All right. So I'm going to ask it to show me yes again. Show me yes. And you might see me making tiny movements. I'm not aware of myself making any movements, but it's possible. I mean, again, I believe that it's my subconscious. I just, show me no. Okay. All right, cool. So now I'm going to ask a question. Did I go to the Ghostbusters firehouse today? And it's telling me yes. Yeah. Are there plenty more haunted sites in New York City I haven't discovered yet? Oh yeah, it's saying yes. I haven't discovered. I believe that. Like, there's got to be. There's like 8 million people in New York now. Can you imagine how many dead people that are still connected to this world? Yeah, so you can ask yes or no questions. One thing that was really interesting, I'll tell this fun story. It's a little spooky. This is one of those ones where you kind of ask yourself, is it me and my subconscious or is it something else? Okay. So, Gabe was really little. He was maybe a little bit over a year old. This is before he was diagnosed with autism. He was still in a crib. But he loved pizza. He might have been, maybe he was a little older. I'm trying to think. He might have been like after 18 months. Okay. But he was still sleeping in a crib. So just got to make that clear because it comes into the story a little bit later. So he had been eating a piece of pizza and there was a babysitter over at the house. I had a babysitter who she ended up needing a place to live for a while. And basically I paid her a little bit less on babysitting and she stayed with us and I could basically have babysitting whenever I needed it. That's when I lived in North Carolina and she was great and my kids loved her. So anyhow, he had been eating a piece of pizza, but none of us could figure out where it was because we know he didn't eat it all. Okay. Cause usually he would leave a big portion of the crust behind because he wouldn't eat the crust, which is pretty typical for kids. And so we're like, where the heck is that piece of pizza? And I'm like, where is that piece of pizza? It's not in the kitchen. We couldn't find it in the living room. We had this room we called the practice room. That's where I did like private lessons and I did my own practicing. And it had like a whole wall that was just mirrored, but it was like a small room. It was initially set up to be kind of like a formal dining room, but I was not going to need a formal dining room, but I did need a place to make music. So that's kind of how I utilized that. Wasn't there. We looked at the bathrooms. It wasn't in my room because he hadn't been in my room. And so I was like, I was like really freaked out. I'm like, I do not need, of all things in this world, a random piece of pizza randomly in my house. Like, I don't need that drama in my life, So anyhow, I took out this pendulum and I'm like, show me where the piece of pizza is. And it literally started swinging and pointing me. I'm like, okay, now show me. And then it switched directions. And so I basically kept doing that throughout the house. That child had somehow gotten that piece of pizza all the way under his crib into like the center of the crib. So you couldn't see it from the outside. So if you're looking in the room, you couldn't see it. It was like as far in as you could go in all directions. Don't know how this kid got that there, but he did. But guess what found it? Like, I literally asked, and it took me to exactly where the piece of pizza was. That was the moment I'm like, okay, is this my subconscious or is it something else? I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. But I do use this. It does help me get some clarity sometimes. Again, I use it as a psychological tool. I do not say, you know, like, this is something that's definitely connecting me to my great 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 grandfather. You know, I don't feel like that's what it does. I don't know if it does connect me to the other side. Great. It's not scary in any way, shape, or form. There's a long tradition of this in European folklore of people using necklaces. In fact, I used to wear a necklace for years that I would just take off, and it has a citrine. Gabe broke the chain last year. He was just pulling on my necklace and it just popped off. And so I actually keep that in my wallet until I'm able to get a new sturdier necklace for it, because I love that. I feel like it's something that my dad gave me, and I really, really love the energy that stone has. And it's just a beautiful stone. But now I'm wearing an opal, which is a protective stone. And I also love this because I got it in Australia when I played a concert in Sydney. So it's also a good memory for me. But anyway, I will actually use necklaces sometimes when I need to connect with my subconscious to help me. I look at it this way, is my subconscious probably has a better handle on my life than my conscious mind does, because the everyday emotions of my conscious mind sometimes get in the way of me making the best decisions for me, my family. So not always, but like, you know, when you're emotional, it's really, really hard sometimes to say, okay, this is for the best, or we need to do this. And so that's what I use basically to connect. Is it a little woo-woo? Mm-hmm. Is it a little witchy? Mm-hmm. Is that okay? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, because I have no problem with any of that, you know? Again, if this is not for you, that's fine. I'm not asking you to do it or believe in it or anything. I just know that some people are interested, and so I'm just sharing because 'tis the season, so they say, to share about these types of things. A townhouse located at 12 Gay Street in Greenwich Village was once the home of a New York City mayor, as well as the howdy-doody puppet designer Frank Paris. This historic brick townhouse was built in 1827 and was also a speakeasy called the Pirate's Den. Seen from the windows, there has been the apparition of a man in a top hat that many believe is Mayor Walker. The house also has floorboards that creak when nobody is around.